afternoon, boys and ghouls. It's your boy, the horror heathen. How are you doing on this wonderful day? I today have the esteemed pleasure of talking to the very talented and very lovely Kim Bubbs, which you may know her as in Juliette in the movie The Thing from 2011. She was born in Oakville, Ontario, Canada, to an English-Canadian father and a French-Canadian mother. Kim graduated from Ryerson Theatre School and in a little over a year was nominated for a Gemini Award, Canada's version of the Emmy Award, for her work on the new Red Green Show. She has guest starred on NBC's Timeless and had the celebrated series Mad Men. Kim also starred alongside Mary Elizabeth Winstead and Joel Edgerton in the highly anticipated prequel to John Carpenter's 1982 cult classic, The Thing. She appeared in the film On the Road, which official selection by the Cannes in 2013, by acclaimed director Walter, I can't pronounce his last name, Walter Salles, I think. I don't know. Forgive me, Walter. And starred alongside Sean Ashmore in the medical drama Bloodletting and Miraculous Cures for HBO Canada. Her other professional credits include Mr. Peabody and Sherman, The Maestro, Her Only Child, The Foundation, and the hit animated series Sailor Moon. Kim is the voice of Lisbeth Salander's character in the English dubbing of the original Swedish film series The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and has also performed in several well-known video game series such as Deus, I think that's how you pronounce it, right? I don't know.
Deus Ex.
Deus Ex? I am so sorry.
No worries.
Human Revolution, Shaun White, skateboarding and snowboarding in the Assassin's Creed series of games. So quite the reputation. You are fantastic and fabulous.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Kim Bubbs, how are you doing? Or I'm sorry, Kim Bubbs. I just I'm nervous. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm well, thanks. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing much better now because this I'm anticipating this interview because, like I said, The Thing from 2011 is one of my all-time favorite movies. I absolutely love the prequel. The scene where you turn into the alien, I don't know if that was all CGI or either way makeup or prosthetics. It was great.
It was, you know what? It was great. And what a way to exit. You know what I mean? It was fantastic. It was actually a combination. What I really appreciated about the film was they wanted to pay homage to John Carpenter with the puppetry. So it wasn't just, nowadays there's a lot of digital, a lot of green screen. This was a real combination. So there was like actual puppetry on set. So my big scene and transformation was a combination of me doing things. And we had this kind of animatronic puppet with an animatronic face that they replicated my face. But then they realized that I was a better actor than the animatronic face, which is, thank God.
Of course.
So then they reshot my face and CGI'd my face on top of this animatronic puppet's face. So the face you see in the film is my face, CGI'd on top of the puppet's face that couldn't deliver the performance, this animatronic face.
Well, I'm surely glad they did that because your performance was most outstanding and paramount in the movie. So, just a few questions I'd like to ask, as I mentioned before. Can you tell the audience a little more about yourself that I have not mentioned in your bio?
Well, what can I say? I'm a classically trained actor. I went to theater school, doing a lot of Shakespeare and Moliere and the classics. I work in French and English, and I also am fluent in Spanish. Yeah, I'm an animal lover, as we discussed earlier. My cat that you may have seen actually was thrown out of a window of a moving car in front of my house on the 405 in June, and he stopped and rescued her, and so now we have a cat.
There you go.
So I'm a sucker for a sad story.
Well, that makes two of us because all my animals are rescues. So
yeah, same here.
I have one dog that was abused by his previous owner. So it took him years to warm up to my wife and I.
Yeah.
We have another one that we adopted through an agency that I'm living in New Jersey. So this dog came a river. She's female. She's a half German Shepherd and half mini collie mix. She's really small, so but she's really beautiful. And the story behind her, the short story is that she came up here from Texas with 150 other puppies, but only 25 survived,
Oh,
and she's one of the 25.
wow.
So, but now she has a little tick in her head, where she does this every once in a while,
Yeah.
and I think they call it distemperament, I think.
Okay.
And yeah, she gets shots every year for it. So,
Okay.
but she's a really smart dog. She's really pretty. She's fun to play with. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
Well done.
And the cat Dakota is my wife's cat. She rescued him 18 years ago, and he's still alive.
Oh.
So, yeah, he's a little pain in my butt, but I love him. Okay, enough animal talk.
There
So,
you go.
okay, how did you get into acting, and what influenced you?
I got into acting actually when I was really young, in Canada. So I grew up outside of Toronto, but I went to school in French my whole life. And there was a French theater downtown Toronto called Le Théâtre Français de Toronto, the French Theater of Toronto. And my mom enrolled me in classes at this French theater. They had classes for children, and I absolutely loved it. And I mean, it took off from there. I was always involved in theater. And then after high school, I went to theater school, and the rest is history. I worked steadily as an actor in Canada, and then I was lucky enough to get a lot of amazing projects, and I moved to Los Angeles after that. And that's how it happened.
Wow, that sounds like quite the story. I mean, so like me, my father was in the military, so we moved every 3 years. So
Wow.
it was really hard to adapt. So,
Yeah.
but I very barely remember Belgium because I was a very young kid.
Yeah.
The other thing I do remember is sneaking to the candy store and buying bubble gum,
Ah.
which is like a mile down the house from a mile down the road from our house. So
Yeah.
it was the bubble gum in a tube. You squeeze it out and just yeah,
Ooh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. Long
Cool.
time ago. I was like 5 or 6. It was a long, long time ago.
Oh, wow.
So, what made you audition for the role of Juliette, and why?
Well, I got the audition from my agent. I do get, because I'm proficient in, I mean, I'm fluent in French. It's one of my first languages. I do get a lot of the French roles, the French accent parts. A lot of them come to me. Um, yeah, I did. I think it was, I just put myself on tape. And then after that, I went to Toronto and I met with Matthias, who directed the film. And we worked together a bit, and that was that. So it was such a fantastic cast too. I mean, we had, and this is something that the director Matthias, he really fought for, to have actual Norwegians in the cast, so that it wasn't, so it was authentic. And
Right, right.
yeah, so we had some Danish actors and some Norwegian actors, and they were all phenomenal, and great guys. It was just a lot of fun to be on set.
Yeah, I watched the bonus CD, like behind the scenes takes and stuff like that, and it did he did mention that hiring actors from like Denmark and stuff like that to make the movie authentic, and he
Yeah.
did that. He hit that on the mark, and that's another reason why I like this movie so much, is because the languages, the language barriers, and people talking back and forth. I'm like, this is just phenomenal. I love it.
Yeah,
So
it makes it all the more realistic, it gives it that heightened sense of realism. Because I mean, that is essentially, if you're going to go to Antarctica, you have international groups working together. And I thought the premise of the movie was fantastic, because the original John Carpenter opens with the Norwegian base, and it's really interesting to find out what went wrong, what happened, as a lead up to the original film. And the fact that there were two women in it, in our film, I thought that was pretty great.
yes, yes, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead is another one of my favorite actresses. So I've been following her for a long time too. So,
Yeah,
so what did it feel like to work alongside Mary and Eric Christian Olsen?
oh, that was great. They were fantastic. Eric's really funny. he was always making us laugh, and Mary's a phenomenal actress. She was and so kind and warm and generous, and we really were such a solid, fantastic group. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. We had fun. We hung out. It was shot in Toronto, so we would hang out in Toronto. We would go out to dinner. It was a really good time. And I learned something that I didn't know. Danish and Norwegian and Swedish are so close that if you can speak one, you can essentially speak them all, in a sense that they're so close that you can easily communicate.
Yeah,
I didn't know this.
I learned that 3 days ago that the Dutch and the German languages are very similar too.
Yeah, those are very similar. Yeah.
So I was watching a horror movie, but it was in Dutch. I'm like, why do they sound like they're speaking German? So
Yeah.
I had to ask my wife, because my wife actually lived in Germany for like 7 years. So, and she told me, like, yeah, they're very similar in language and culture. I was like, oh, the more you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, Latin languages like French, Spanish, Italian, they're similar, but I don't know that you could communicate that easily between them. You know what I mean? Like say between Portuguese and French, it's still, there's a distance there, but yeah, it was interesting to learn that.
So one question that I want to ask you, and it's been irking me for a while.
Yes.
but in a positive way. So, how does it feel to be in a movie that was recreated and yet the prequel to such an iconic movie from the 80s?
Well, going in, I didn't know, so that was kind of a good thing. Like, I didn't know that it was such a, sorry, I just got a ding there. I didn't quite realize the magnitude of it. So I think that was kind of a positive thing, because you just go into it, in the moment and just wanting to do the best you can for the project. It's funny because a lot of people say, oh, you were in the remake. And then I'm always, pointing out it wasn't a remake, it was a prequel, because it's the, and thankfully it is, because there's no way you could compete. I would never want to remake John Carpenter's The Thing.
Right.
You can't do that. I feel like that's untouchable. And so, going into this, I don't know. I thought it was fantastic to do the prequel. It was highly anticipated. I don't think it performed as well as expected at the box office, unfortunately. But it's nice to see that there is, it's kind of similar to Carpenter's The Thing, that didn't do so well when it came out, but it's become this massive cult classic. So it's kind of, our film has kind of gone in the same vein. So I feel like it does have a big audience.
It does. In my opinion, it does carry the same weight as John Carpenter's film. So,
thank you.
Because it was done so well. So, and I noticed in some scenes where they used like some practical special effects and CGI to pay homage to John Carpenter's version. So
yeah, they did.
That was just great. So
that was great, and it was great as a performer too, as an actor, to be on set and to have something to visually interact with. You know what I mean? It wasn't just green screen all around. It was a nice combination.
So I don't know if you actually watch horror movies. I don't know if you're into that kind of genre or not, but being an actress in a horror movie, do you prefer experiencing it? Which type of special effects do you prefer, CGI or practical?
Listen, CGI really forces you to use your imagination. Practical, I'll tell you one thing. When I was promoting The Thing at Universal Studios, they had the Thing maze at the time. And so I did this thing for Entertainment Tonight, and I had to go through this maze. And my worst kind of thing that freaks me out is people jumping out at you. And it was nothing but people jumping out at you from dark corners. So when you're in a film, you know what to expect. When you're going through something like that, you don't know what to expect, and it's freaky. But I don't know. I think I enjoyed the mix of the two. I did really, really appreciate having the physical puppets and stuff on set. I thought that was amazing. And also too, when you see what goes into them, it's just impressive, you know.
It is. And oh God, I love the movie so much. I can't emphasize how much I love that movie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot of people had a lot of low expectations for it. To me, I knew before it even came out, even seeing the trailers, the previews, like I knew right away it was gonna be good.
Yeah.
So because it's anything that happens, anything that has to do with John Carpenter is going to be good.
Yeah.
So even if it's done by a different director, different producer, different crew, I just knew right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was gonna be good. So I think you already answered this question. How does it feel to be part of a movie that's such as a huge success as John Carpenter's, even though it's considered a prequel?
It's incredible. It feels great. It's incredible. And again, I appreciate how they approached it. And I really like that we tried to answer the question of what happened before. And it was like a very interesting take that we just took a piece of Carpenter's story from his film and explored that. I thought that was a really nice tangent to go on. And yeah, I thought it was great. It feels wonderful. I'm proud to be a part of this film.
Well, you have the absolute right to feel great about it because it was a fantastic film. It is. So, do you have any like memorable moments of shooting that film with the cast and crew at all on set?
Well, I do remember when we were filming my scene, my transformation scene, and then Matthias said, okay, well, you know, he was telling me, I think you should, maybe we can, you know, you've got to kind of go back. And then I was like, well, what do you think if I start making these noises? Like these kind of noises, these throat noises. And it ended up working out really well. And so he blended that with all sorts of different, you know, audio screeches or whatever. So this weird noise I made while I was like going back into position while I was transforming, when I'm getting the keys out of the drawer or whatever, ended up working out really well. It was nice because we were just kind of playing around with different things, and it was a great moment for, you know, to be creative, and it was a lot of fun. It was a great set to be on. He really gave you a lot of room to play.
And I remember seeing that on the bonus track too. It's like he did say that you made the noises up and you're supposed to like emulating like you're in pain or like you were suffering. That's this is all about. So
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, all right, let me try this.
but yeah, when Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character was getting the keys out of the drawer, I was like, oh, something's about to happen. Because you can see the foreshadowing, like, oh crap, here we go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
It's just in the background.
yeah. I knew it was like, oh, here we go. She's turning. Oh no. So alongside other actresses and actors in that movie, how did you feel? Did you feel like you were outside your element at all?
Like in what sense?
Um, you're with like Mary Liz Winstead, Eric
Yeah.
Olson, like that. All these other individuals from like Game of Thrones. So
Well, this was pre Game of Thrones. This was before Game of Thrones. But yeah, no, I mean, listen, I really feel that it was such a lovely group of experienced quality performers, incredible professionals. And I think we all came together and made something really phenomenal. But everybody had tremendous work ethic, experience. I mean, the Norwegian and Danish actors are, you know, celebrated actors in Norway and Denmark as well. So we had this kind of cream of the crop coming together, international group, which was so incredible. And I think we made something really wonderful. It was just a really nice atmosphere on set.
yeah, but the camaraderie was great, and you made a lot of friendships on the set too. So
Yeah. And I'm so happy for, like Christoph went on to Game of Thrones, and he was so brilliant in Game of Thrones. It's
I
perfect.
did write to his agent and manager, hoping I can get an interview with him as well, but I haven't heard them back yet.
Okay.
But I do have my last final question for you. And can you do me a favor and can you answer this question impersonating Juliette for me?
Okay.
Do you have any advice for budding actors or actresses in the movie industry?
So you want me to say with an accent?
If you don't mind, you
Okay.
don't have to go into.
Okay. I think that it's very important to, for me, the fact that I had so much training, because it is important to develop your craft. And when you do classics or like classical theater and all different types, because in Canada we do in theater school, I do voiceover, I do accent work, I do theater, classical theater, and it really helps to develop a very well-rounded background and foundation. And then I think, because for me and for many Canadians, because we do a lot of different things like commercial voiceover and all of that, we have almost an advantage because we are very versatile. And I would encourage people who are very interested in pursuing a career to really invest in a good foundation. Voilà.
Yes, that was awesome. Thank you so much.
Of course.
That was fantastic. Oh God, I love you so much. You're great.
Oh Thank you.
So, as a token of my appreciation, I always ask everyone that I interview if you would like to receive a South Jersey Horror podcast shirt.
Absolutely. I'll wear it with pride.
So, I guess I get in contact with your manager if I need an address to send it to.
Sure. Yes.
Okay. So, what size do you wear?
I guess like a medium, I guess. It depends. I don't know. It depends on the shirt.
Well, I've actually had women wear the men's shirt because it's much fuller, but the women's shirt is more contoured for your body.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's up to you. I mean, that I've also been told the shirts are very, very comfortable, and I keep getting nothing but compliments about the shirts because I get them from a business down the street from my house. So and they make them for me.
I like it. You supporting local business. That's great. I guess give me a men's one then. Thank you.
Okay, absolutely. I will get the address from your manager, and I will mail your shirt to you.
Perfect. It was lovely chatting with you.
Likewise, and I am so happy that I got to speak to you because, like I said, I love the movie, and believe it or not, you're actually one of my favorite actresses of all time.
Oh my God. Thank you.
So, as they would say, I'm not very good at saying this. Au revoir.
Au revoir. That's perfect.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. À la prochaine. That means until the next time.
Until next time.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. I really do appreciate it, and I wish you nothing but the best in your career.
Thank you very much.
And very successful. And yeah, do you have any upcoming movies by any chance you can tell us about or no?
I do have some stuff that I'm working on, but that I cannot discuss, including some writing as well. So
absolutely, I understand. Not a problem.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too.